honeycombs are very protective, especially for a beginner groomer. Every dog's nail has a vein inside of the nail called a quick, and even a 10 blade can cause irritation. You can choose what length of coat you would like to have on your dog. Never leave them open. Face safe products when I'm washing the face of a dog, but I only have to open it as far as I need to make that cut. Keep that foot on the table. If your dog wants to move around a lot, just simply pick this other foot up. As pet owners and pet professionals, we want to provide the best quality care for our pets as we can. They're our family members. This one's in need of some hygiene attention, but there are dangers when grooming a dog. I am a professional pet groomer, but more importantly, I am the owner of this beautiful golden doodle. His name is Gus. He requires a ton of daily, weekly, and monthly grooming. Whether it's brushing, bathing, trimming, he requires all that to keep him happy and healthy and definitely feeling his best. As a professional pet groomer, this is not a hard task for me to complete. But for you, it may be. That's why I made this video. I want to make sure that you avoid the risk of harming your dog if you plan to give them a haircut. Not all dogs require a haircut, but I'm also going to teach you other grooming practices that could harm your dog or injure them, such as trimming the nails incorrectly, brushing improperly, choosing the wrong products to bathe and condition your dog, cause the skin to become unbalanced or irritated. I'm going to cover all that for you in this video. I want you and your pet to have a successful experience, even if all you need to do is brush them. It's imperative that you use a proper tub harness in the tub so that it's not pulling on their trachea. I have linked this tub leash. I designed it and they are handmade. I've linked it in the description below, and it goes on your dog like a harness. It's made of shock cord, paracord, it's bungee basically. It's mold resistant and water resistant. It'll last you for a long time. The most important thing is that it does not lay on the trachea of your dog, because most dogs will pull in the bathtub because they don't want to get a bath, but we have to do it. Come on. Oh, he's reluctant. And this will keep your dog from jumping out of the tub, and it also will keep them safe in the tub. You probably don't have a professional bathing tub like I do. No problem. You get yourself one of these hitches. These are great. They'll go onto any hard surface, and they are so secure. This one in particular is very strong. That's why I'm showing you. It's linked below. You can hook them to that and keep them safe in the tub. Just like that. It's important to use pet safe products when we bathe our dogs. You also see me talking today about shampoos that are specifically made for the face area of a dog. I'm going to link all the products below for you that I'm going to be talking about today, so no worries, I got you covered. These are a couple of my favorites. This is made by Best Shot. It is a spa facial cleanser. You can use this on the body if you want. I tend to use it only on the face because it's a little pricey, so I like to save it for that because I know it's safe and it won't irritate the eyes. This is made by Petology, called Puppy Faces, and it's another one of my favorites. Very affordable, great product. I love to use the Petals and Tails. They have many different scents you can get. They all contain CBD oil. The shampoos and conditioners, all of them. They're very high-end products, great for your dog's skin, whether they are having a skin issue or not. They can be preventative. I like to use the Petals and Tails. Fortunately for you guys, I reached out to the company after trying their products. I asked if they could offer any type of a savings for me to suggest the products to my audience because I do like them so much. They agreed, and Petals and Tails offers you a 15% off of every purchase of their products if you use the link in my description. Please enjoy that. Your pets will too. You'll see me using dilution bottles for shampoos and conditioners. It's very important to dilute your shampoo and conditioner so that it can produce the best results. Shampoos and conditioners are concentrated. I linked dilution bottles in the description below for you, and there's one thing that I want you to know, especially on topic today. When we dilute our shampoo or conditioner in a mixing bottle with water, it's only intended for that day's use only. Once you add water to a plant-based product, bacteria is going to start to brew in here within a day or two. Only mix what you need. Go watch my bathing workshop video. It's linked below. How to dilute your products and how to bathe, dry, condition, all the things for your dog. Brushing them, it's all there. full bathing workshop video on a deep dive about shampoo and conditioner and diluting. Remember, we only mix what we're going to use for that particular bath and we throw the rest away. If you have 2-3 dogs you're bathing, it's fine. You can use it for one day and then dump it down the drain. Another thing that could be a problem in the bathing process, if you get an excessive amount of water in a dog's ear. Typically getting water in a dog's ear is not going to hurt their ear, but we don't know if there is anything compromised in this ear. We don't know. Hello? Are you compromised? We don't know. What you can do is put cotton in your dog's ears. You want to try to avoid getting water in their ears, but if a little water does get in the ears, putting the cotton in their ears is going to help protect that. But you don't want to forget to take the cotton out after you bathe them. It won't hurt them, but it will be annoying to them. When you're bathing your dog, the water temperature should always only be lukewarm, not hot, not cold. Cold is uncomfortable to them, and hot is damaging to the skin, obviously. I get my water going, and I let it run a minute, because you know water temperature can change. Make sure it's lukewarm. Lukewarm is ideal for bathing your dog. Lukewarm water. When washing a dog's face, it's very important not to get shampoo directly into the eyes. But you know I like to use my face-safe products when I'm washing the face of a dog. So that's the first step to avoid injury, is using very safe products. So I want to tilt his nose down, and I want to get this wet, really wet, so the product can lather. And remember, we don't want to get water in the ears. We got his cotton balls in there just to protect him a little bit, but we still try to avoid it. Here in their mouth, they get really crusty. Be sure to really wet around the mouth, everywhere. The shampoo can't lather if you don't get some water in this coat. We shake all our products. This is the Best Shot Spa Facial. So I'm gonna put some product in my hand. I'm gonna start lathering it under his chin, on his head, and I'm gonna bring it down in front of his eyes like this. I am not going to push it into his eyes. So it is washing in front of his eyes. Dogs get a lot of buildup there, guys. So you want to wash it. You want to push the shampoo down in front of their eyes so that it can clean it, but it's not going in the eyes. And they'll close their eyes during this process. With the mouth, really want to get that good and clean, okay? These products are nice and gentle, and they are made for pets, and it's important that you use products that are made to bathe your pets. But be sure to get these areas clean, especially in here. This gets really yucky with food. So take your time bathing your dogs. Oh yeah. Another thing that can cause harm to your dog when you're grooming them, bathing them, is not over rinsing all shampoo and conditioner out of your dog's skin and coat when you bathe them. If you don't, and you leave shampoo in this coat, in the skin, or conditioner, it can irritate the skin. And it can cause skin irritation, skin inflammation. It can cause your dog's skin to become dry, itchy, and flaky, and that could lead to a skin problem or infection. It's very important to over-rinse all products out of your dog's coat when you're bathing them. Good job. And here's a tip you may not know to not put your dog in danger when you're grooming them. Always condition your dog with a pet-safe conditioner. I've linked the Petals and Tails in the description below. I will also link a couple of other products and brands that I like for you to use to shampoo and condition your dog. Most all shampoos and conditioners will cover, no matter, it'll be fine. It's not, my dog has this coat type, my dog's a Shih Tzu, my dog's is this, my dog, it doesn't matter. Just use pet-safe shampoo and conditioner and you're golden. Why is it so important to condition your dog? I'll tell you why. If you only shampooed your dog and you did not condition them, you're leaving the coat very dry, you're leaving the skin very depleted of its natural oils. He will start to produce his own natural oils after he's bathed. But if I strip them all out and don't put some moisture back in the coat, I'm setting him up for failure to have skin problems. Dry, flaky skin, itchy skin. Never use any products that are not pet products on your dog. No dish soap, No human products, none. The pH level is different on a human product than it is on a dog product. They have a different pH balance to their skin than we do. Heed my advice, condition your dog, let the conditioner sit on your dog for about 5 minutes, so as I'm working my way around the dog, it's sitting on him. That's fine, and you can feel how soft and moisturized his coat and skin is beginning to be as soon as you start adding the conditioner in. Don't forget to condition inside of the little feet, the paw pads. This is an area that can become very dry. Conditioner will put moisture back in here for you, for them. Definitely on the face, around the eyes. Same thing when we shampooed, we're gonna push that conditioner down in front of the eyes. We want to condition all this area. This is gonna help keep your dog from getting buildup here because the skin and coat is balanced. It's going to nourish any issues that may have arisen because they had irritation from buildup on their face. Never skip the condition process. Condition every ounce of your dog. Every ounce. You're welcome. Force dryers can definitely be a safer choice than a heated element dryer, a hair dryer. They get warm, but they don't get hot. I have very good detailed instructions on how to use a forced air dryer in my bathing video, my bathing workshop video, so be sure to watch that. There is a right and a wrong way to use a forced air dryer, so go watch that video. You can use a human hair dryer. You can. This is going to make this video because they can be dangerous. They usually have settings: no heat, medium heat, and high heat. Never use high heat. Use it on at least the medium heat, and do not put it too close to your dog's skin. It will burn. This is hot. Keep it kind of moving a little bit, you know, so that you're not honing on one area and heating it up. Their skin is very delicate, but you can use human dryers. I just want you to make sure you don't use them on high heat and that you keep kind of moving the heat around. Watch the dryer. I'm moving the heat so it's not in one spot. It's going to hurt his skin. There's even these handy little brush dryers. I do use this sometimes on Gus. This is nice for somebody who doesn't have an industrial stand dryer. You can get replaceable heads for these too. That's a nice option. Another mistake a lot of people make that puts their dog at risk is not safely securing them on the grooming table. I have always recommended to you guys to use the Groomer's Helper grooming loop because it is adjustable to the same manner as a collar. So you can adjust it and lock it in, and they're not going to slip out of it. If they slip out of it, they're flying off the table. Having your dog safely secured on the grooming table properly with a grooming loop, it can fit right under their jaw, and you can hook it to an additional hook to keep them from jumping. And then you need to take the slack out of your dog grooming loop. Not tight, you want to feel it. Make sure it's not pulling on their arteries here, it's not pushing on their trachea, but he's safely secured. When he's safely secured, he feels better on the grooming table. He feels more confident, so it's very important to do so. These additional hitches are great. Little anchors, they are wonderful. It keeps him from jumping, and this is going to particularly come in handy when we go to trim his nails. Now that I'm going to trim Gus's nails, I do have him secured in a way that he is going to not feel the need to resist so much. Trimming the nails is something that a lot of people put their dog at risk when they groom their dogs. There's a right and a wrong way to trim your dog's nail. Every dog's nail has a vein inside of the nail called a quick, and if you want to see a detailed video on nail trimming, I will link one or two in the description below because I've made several really informative nail trim videos for you guys. Another thing you don't want to do, put your dog at risk when you're trimming nails, is make them stand in uncomfortable ways. For one, it could hurt their legs, it could hurt their feet. And if they're an older dog, I mean, that could really be a problem. But not just an older dog, any dog. Another thing that's very important to avoid putting your dog at risk during grooming sessions is to teach your dog that the grooming table is a safe place. You can't expect a dog to get on a grooming table and just automatically think this is normal. It's not. This is something you have to teach them that is normal. When you get a dog, whether it's a puppy or it's a rescue or it's an adult dog, I don't know what, it doesn't matter. They can all be taught. I recommend that when you get them, you start teaching them to be confident on the grooming table. Because if they're not confident, they go to a bad place in their head, and that puts them at risk for injury. How? Lunging off the table, falling off the table. You see my dog, I could take him off of this lead. He's been trained, but I have him here for safety. I want to keep reminding him he's supposed to stay here, but he's trained. My dog just stands there. He didn't always. That was training. That's how this works. So what I suggest people do when they get a dog, just have table time. Let's call it table time. Call it table time for your dog. Table time. And what that is, get him up here. Just do a little bit of brushing. If your dog's still not comfortable with brushing yet, just have the brush in your hand and touch your dog on the grooming table. Ask them to stand in positions and be still and praise them. What a good boy. Yeah, good boy. This is teaching them that this is what you want them to do. They need you to teach them that. This doesn't come pre-programmed for a dog. Be their leader and teach them, and they're gonna love you for it. The bonding that's gonna happen between you and your dog during grooming sessions, or even just brushing your dog. If that's all you do, you go to a professional groomer, you still need to brush them. The bonding that happens through grooming is amazing, and you will love it. So, have some table time with your dog, guys, and just practice positioning them, handling them. I call it that, handling them. Checking in the ears while they're on the table. You're teaching them that when they're up on this table, you're going to be touching them. Eventually, you may be wanting to use a clipper on your dog. Table time. Let's just touch the dog. I'm not clipping him, but he can feel the vibration of the clipper. He feels me touching him. He feels the clipper near his face, getting a little bit more used to that, right? This is how you desensitize a dog. You don't have to clip it. This is table time. That is a very important thing to do for your dog to keep them from risk of harm during grooming sessions. Teach them table time. It's training. And another thing that people often forget when they're grooming their dogs is to not have some type of cushion under their little feetsies. Gus is now a 7-year-old dog. I've noticed that grooming him is harder on his body than it used to be. And I'm sorry, buddy, it's harder on me too. Having that cushion here is wonderful for their feet and for their joints. So just thinking of things like that when you're grooming the dog, thinking of their comfort. If you don't, it could be putting them at harm, you know, for injury or for pain. Remember, we conditioned our dog? That was important. Brushing him while he's drying or almost dry, or even if your dryer's not running. Brushing them when they're still damp or somewhat wet is the easiest way to remove mats, because the hair is still really pliable from being damp. So it's stretchable. So as we're trying to remove a mat, the hair is going to give a little bit and let us release that dead coat, release the mat. That's something else that a lot of people do. They go out their dog with a dry coat. They can cause brush burn. Other problems from brushing, their brushing technique, because they're working on a matted area. Avoid harm or injury to the skin by doing the majority of the dematting while the coat is still damp before you finish drying it. Brushes are used to remove dead hair. This is the purpose of a slicker brush, and you want this. This is the hair that will cause mats. He's a non-shedding breed. All dogs will lose hair like this. The brush's job is to safely remove it. However, you could be brushing incorrectly, and that is a hazard and a risk to your dog. How do you properly brush a dog? Line brushing. Line brushing is when you hold up the hair with your opposite hand so you can get to the skin and gently pull it out in nice even layers, kind of. Now we go up a little bit, and notice I'm moving to this side as I'm brushing. I'm not brushing over and over again in one area. That will cause brush burn to your dog's skin. It can turn into a skin infection if it's severe enough. Properly brushing is important, and that's probably one thing that a lot of people don't realize. There is a right and a wrong way to brush a dog, and you could be putting them at risk if you're improperly brushing them. Another thing is people choose to feel that a comb, they can substitute their brush for a comb, and they cannot. A comb is going to pull the hair too much, especially in an area where it's feeling resistance. It's going to pull. Your brush is going to break through that. See, the comb is simply going to snag and pull in the coat if it hits an area of resistance. This is not something you use instead of a brush. Your comb is used to check your brushing. So if I brushed here, which you just saw me, if I can gently glide my comb through it, it's great. If I come down here and I'm feeling resistance, my comb just told me to start brushing here a little better before I can move on. Your comb checks your work. It is not to be used instead of a brush. It will pull their coat and it will be uncomfortable for the dog. Another thing that could put your dog at risk of injury during grooming sessions. If you are unaware of the fact that a clipper blade attached to a clipper can cut the skin of a dog, it certainly can. There are danger zones, areas when trimming a dog that are easily nicked or cut with the clipper blade. One of them is here in the flank skin. This is very loose skin. Anywhere there's very loose skin on your dog, here where the ear attaches to the head, there's a little flap here. If you're trimming around the ear, there's a little flap right here that all dogs have that can be caught with the clipper if you come at it in this direction. When you're clipping off the ear of a dog, you want to go in this direction, right off the side of the ear leather. So you come up and then you start going off the side. I'm not clipping his ears today. I like them full, so I can't show you that, but I'm just telling you. Another area here is at the corner of the eyes. This is loose skin. In the pads of feet, this is a tender area for a dog. The hock down here, this skin that's attached to this bony hock is a danger zone. It can be cut with a clipper. This skin in here, in between this bone, can be cut with a clipper, especially if the dog's matted. The clipper will pull it and pull it in. The shortest blade I would ever use on a body is a number 7 blade. Number 5 clips a little bit longer of length, a 5 or a 7. These are as short as I would ever go on the body and the legs of a dog. You must always use pet grooming clippers for your dogs, okay? Clippers that are made for pets, especially clippers that are recommended from a pet groomer. There are clippers on the shelves of Walmart and some other stores like that that actually say they're pet clippers, but they're inadequate. Follow the lead from professional groomers like myself. Go Groomer. If you're needing to know what is a safe clipper to use for your dog that will do a good job, always only pet clippers for your dog. I always tell you, as a beginner, I like to use guard combs. Guard combs are very protective, especially for a beginner groomer, because it creates a barrier between the dog's skin and the cutting blade, which is underneath the guard comb. The guard comb does not have a blade. It is just adding a length to this blade. Guard combs, use them, especially if you're a beginner groomer. They create a little safe barrier between the dog's skin and the clipper cutting edge of the blade. I use guard combs all the time as a professional. They produce nice, smooth work. All professionals use them. But as a beginner, it's a very safe thing to do is use your guard combs. But you will not have luck using your guard combs if you didn't perfectly bathe, shampoo, condition, dry, and brush and comb this dog out. If I can't slide a comb through the dog's coat, then I will not be able to slide a guard comb through. This is a comb. That's how you check to see if you're ready for clipping. If you can slide this comb from the skin all the way through the hair, then you're ready to go ahead and start your clipper work. And I suggest that beginners always use guard combs for the body, the legs, around the head. They're safer. Guard comb attachments come in all sizes too, guys. These are for the regular size clipper blades, and these are for the wide size clipper blades. They come in all different sizes, as you can see. You can choose what length of coat you would like to have on your dog's body, on their legs, on their head. You could go with a blue on the body, an orange on the legs, and a yellow to set the top of the head. Utilize your guard combs. They are an absolute lifesaver in grooming. Another thing you could be doing to cause harm to your dog during grooming could be that you are using a 30 blade in the pads of the feet. I do. I'm a professional. I use a 30 blade, but I don't put any pressure on that skin, and I'm very accustomed to judging that. You could cause this to bleed in here. The 30 blade is very short, so I always tell everybody to use a 10 blade in the private areas around the butt, the privates, and in the pads of the feet. If you are a beginner, I recommend you use a 10 blade in that area because it's safer. And I definitely use a 10 blade around the private areas on every dog. That is something that people don't often understand. It's important. You can cause major skin irritation, and even a 10 blade can cause irritation. So I want to come in here applying no pressure on the blade, just trying to skim that hair off, okay? You got to apply a little bit of pressure to move the skin, but this is very tender skin and you want to protect it. So use the 10 blade and don't apply a lot of pressure on the blade when you're trimming in these private areas. It can really cause a major skin irritation for your dog. It could turn into an infection. We've got 2 scissor tips to share with you guys. The first scissor tip, safe use of dog grooming shears. Dog grooming shears are very sharp. So when we're scissoring the foot, I like to keep the foot on the table, and I recommend that everybody do this. This could be an area that you could cause a lot of harm to your dog by accidentally cutting into the pad of the foot if you're picking up the foot to scissor it. Keep the foot on the table and scissor around the foot. That is a extremely good tip for safety when it comes to dog grooming and shears. Keep that foot on the table. If your dog wants to move around a lot, just simply pick this other foot up, and that's going to encourage him to stay on this foot. Keep the foot on the table and scissor all the way around the foot to avoid nicking the pad. And that could be an absolute trip to the vet, guys. I mean, with stitches. You don't want it. My second scissor tip is this. You only open the shear as far as the area you want to cut. If I wanted to snip this small little snip off his tail, I'm only going to open my shear that far. Look at my hand. I'm hardly using my thumb at all. It gives me a lot of accuracy too. I'm doing a small area, I'm only opening up my shear that much. If I'm doing a larger area, like say on the outside of this leg, I'm going to open my shear up as far as the area of hair that I want to clip. See that? If I want to come down this leg, I want to cut a good bit, so I'm going to open them more, right? So I'm going to keep my dog still, and we're only going to open our shear as far as the hair we want to cut. If I'm trimming around my dog's face and his eyes, I need to be very accurate. So I'm going to comb out the area that I want to trim. I only want to trim this small detailed area. Yes, I'm using a big shear, but I only have to open it as far as I need to make that cut. And that gives me a lot more accuracy. Look at my hands. I'm barely moving them. It gives me very much accuracy. If I'm trimming a small area, I'm only opening my thumb only about that much, which opens just the tip of the shear. That's all I need to trim this area safely, right? These are my shears, Sapphire, made by Kenshi. Go get them. Link in the description. And one more little word of caution. Don't leave your dog grooming shears when you're working with them open like this on the table anywhere near. He's often moving his feet, especially when I go to scissor these feet. If he picks it up and steps on that, this is razor sharp. He could seriously cut the pad of his foot. I always keep them closed when I'm scissoring. I'll put them down, you'll see they're closed. They're closed. And I'll have it right here ready to pick up so I can continue scissoring. It's also a good idea just to keep them off to the side if your table's big enough, but I keep them closed. Never leave them open like that. That is razor sharp. It'd be like your dog stepping on a razor blade. Gus and I wish you and the pets you groom the most successful and safe dog grooming sessions possible. We hope we've helped you in some way. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.